make some pork chops for dinner. Pork chops for dinner. They were frozen in the freezer. Pork chops for dinner. And there's some pork blood, so be sure to be careful with your food handling. Blah, 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 blah. Gotta get a towel. Gotta get a towel. Okay, so what I've done is, this is a skillet, as you can see. I've got the heat on medium. And I put just a little bit of oil in there to kind of slick up the surface. I really don't like nonstick pans, and yes, this is a very old pan and it should be replaced. Blah, blah, blah. Fuss at me in the comments below. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, blah, blah. Okay, but that's all I've got. So, there's the pan. Now, what you're going to do is some good old olive oil, and you want to smell it. Make sure. Smell it. Give it a smell. Smell. Smell it. Smell it. Okay, so see, it doesn't smell rancid. You got to watch that with oil. Okay, that's about how much I put in there. Alright, that is, see, I don't measure, so it's eyeballed, but if you're measuring, it's probably about 1/4 of a cup, maybe a little bit less. And then you're going to get your Worcestershire sauce. Oh, and I can't get the lid open, so hold on. Okay, got it open now. Alright, so now we're going to go like this. It sounds like it's going tee-tee. But you're going to put quite a bit of Worcestershire in there. Yes, quite a bit. I would say, you know, where you had about 1/4 cup maybe of the other, this would be like about 1/8, I guess, of a cup. So you're going to do some of that. Oh, I forgot to get this down. Sorry, guys and dolls. Alright. This is chopped onions. Shake it, 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 shake it. You just want a little flavor. That's it. Okay? And no, I'm not measuring, so just eyeball it. Alright? And this is for 2 people. So just use your eyeballs. Use your eyeballs and your nose. Okay, now this is the tricky part. I'm going to have to set y'all down for a minute. Hope y'all can see this. Okay, there's my hand. Alright, did you see that? About that much in my hand, okay? Now, what I'm going to do with that, and of course you're not going to be able to see this, because that's behind the camera, but you want to crunch it, okay, and then kind of break it up, and let it fall down in there, because if you get too big of a pieces, then it's pretty nasty, but crunching it up releases some of the, and this isn't crunching too well, I would want it much crunchier, or much crushed up, I should say, not crunchy. But what this does is it releases the flavors a little bit better. If you have fresh, I suggest using fresh. And remember, with fresh, sometimes depending on it, you might have to use a little more or less than you would in a dried seasoning. Okay, so there's that. Now, I need to get a fork. I gotta reach over here. Look at the bowl while I get a fork. Look at the bowl while I get a fork. And then I stir it up. Stirring, stirring, stirring. And stirring and stirring. And then there's always stirring with a side of stirring. Okay? So, can y'all see? You may not can see it. I'm going to hold it really still. Do you see the oil moving? Okay, that means it's ready to go. It's been warmeded. Now this is what I'm going to tell y'all to do. It's going to make a lot of noise, and it's going to be very hot, so you have to be very careful pouring this in. Okay, but go ahead. Okay. Just lift it up. Let it calm down a little bit. Really, really hot. Pour a little bit more. Okay. And then it smells really good. Now the thing about this is that you've got the fat with the oil, and then you get something to cut the oil, which is the Worcestershire, which is more of like a vinegar base. So whenever you're cooking meat, think about that. You always want, or how I cook it, so where you don't have to worry about a recipe, is, and see, all I'm doing is just stabbing it, putting it in the oil. Okay. Ah, let go. Alright, so, what was I saying? I was saying about, oh, when you're doing something, is to always pick a fat and then something that will cut the fat. So like butter with lemon, olive oil with Worcestershire, regular cooking oil with apple cider vinegar. Okay, do you see how I do that? Where you kind of break them, break them in two. So I'm going to let these cook for about probably 2-3 minutes, and then I'll flip them. So I'm going to show y'all how they look in a little bit. How do you know when it's ready to turn over? When it's getting cooked, how do you know? How do you know? Well, you don't really know. I'm sure that there is a gourmet way. If, there was some gourmet person here teaching you, well, they teach you some gourmet way. But you know what? I'm not gourmet. So I have turned the heat down probably a little too low, so I'm going to turn it back up to medium. Now, before I show you the bottoms of these, this stuff right here, please don't freak out, okay? People freak out sometimes when they've never cooked meat before. This is nothing more than the protein coming out, okay? And it's kind of ugly looking, and so I just pull it to the side. You're going to get that with turkey, with pork, with beef, with chicken, anything. All it is the protein. See, there it goes again. See it coming out here, and I'll show you again. I'll pull it away, and hopefully it'll do its thing again. Yeah, see it coming right out again right there? It ain't no big thing, so just pull it to the side. If it freaks you out, it freaks my son out. So I just pull it to the side. It's no big deal, alright? Now, I want you to listen to the sizzling, okay? Now, compare that to when I first was cooking it, how loud it was. This is like the cooking sound. Again, I cook by sight, by sound, and by feel. Oh, perfect. Okay, can you see the bottom of that? Okay, some of that, I'm going to scrape off some of the seasoning so you can see. This around here is not just from the Worcestershire, it's actually cooked. Okay, so I like it. It's what they call caramelized. I like it when it does that. It just messes up Baratesta. And so, yikes. Let go, little pokey chop. Poke chop. Got a poke chop, poke chop, poke chop. Got a poke chop, poke chop, poke chop. Okay, now, on pork chops, all this around here, okay, that is fat. Do not eat the fat, but the fat helps to season it and helps to keep the moisture in too, I find. And again, I'm not a gourmet cook, so if you're a gourmet cook and feel so inclined as to critique the wrongness of my cooking, by all means, feel free. You will not be the first one to tell me about wrongness of my cooking. All I know is my son and I eat it and it tastes good, so that's what I'm concerned about. But you can see on this side of the poke chop, there's not fat, okay? Can you see it? Can you see right here the difference? Right there where I'm running the fork. I'm going to try to zoom in to see if it'll work. It may get fuzzy. But if you can see right there, that's where the fat line is, okay? So just don't cut that off before you cook it. You need that on there. That's one thing with all the skinless chicken and stuff. It dries out and gets tough too fast sometimes because you don't have the skin on it. Now, you can cook. I'm sitting here cooking pork chops and I'm telling y'all about chicken. But you can cook chicken with the skin on and then just pull the skin off when you eat it. So that's what you do. And you can put the seasoning underneath the skin, between the skin and the flesh that you're going to eat. And yes, we are carnivores. We are going to start going a little bit more vegan, vegetarian, just as options. Not that we are anti-carnivore, because we will always be carnivores in our household more than likely. But these are just about done. Now you can see the thickness here. That's about a 1/2 inch poke chop. And they make them a lot thinner. And those almost you can literally lay down in the pan and wait a minute and then flip them and cook the other side and they should be done. But there you go, there's a pork chop dinner. And I had put potatoes in the oven probably about 45 minutes ago. They're the small ones. They're about that big. They're not the giant mutant. They're about that big. So they're already done, but they're still sitting in the oven, and they're just baking a little bit longer, which is wonderful. And so we're going to have pork chops, baked potatoes, and I have cut up some carrots, so we're going to have raw carrots and some raw salad. There you go. Pork chop dinner, really fast, really quick ingredients. Now, you don't have to use rosemary. I used rosemary. You could use thyme. You could use parsley. You could use Italian seasoning. Anything like that. I like the onion in there just because it gives it kind of a better, a yummy flavor. And you can see here, speaking of onion, you see these dark things? That's the onion. And it's gotten reconstituted, which means it's gotten wet again from the oil and the meat juice. And there it is. So these are just about ready to take off, so I'm going to let you guys and dolls go. And go make some pork chops. Go make some pork chops for dinner.